Thanks for staying with us. Nigeria across the world remembered the 1st of October as the 62nd year of the independence of this great nation. For many, there's little or nothing to celebrate, especially with the socio-economic hardship, insecurity of lives and properties in our country, and so many other negative things. What are your thoughts, especially that this is the very final Independence Day of our outgoing president, President Muhammadu Buhari, and reflecting on what has been done so far? And I was going to even start this conversation with when yesterday, was it over the weekend? I watched a movie. I watched Brotherhood. It's a Nigerian movie, and the movie was such a good movie. I had to go to the cinemas to watch it. And I think I still talked about the other movie, Prophetess, which I did. And when I watch this Nigerian work, this body of work Nigerians do, I say to myself, these are Nigerians. And if nothing inspires you, if nothing at all around you inspires you, our entertainment industry in itself is enough for you to say, you know what, I'm going to believe in this nation. So if we love to criticize, maybe sometimes we should reflect or look at the Nollywood. I was so impressed by the work that was done in Brotherhood. I'm like, is this a Nigerian?
Are you serious?
So I'm thinking to yourself, like, we have the ability, we have the capability, we have we are one of the smartest black people in the world. And I think it's important for us to begin to highlight these good things about us and not to focus on the negatives. What are your thoughts as we celebrate 62nd year anniversary of Nigeria, and how does it make you feel? Let me start with you, Nima.
Okay. I feel proud to be Nigerian. I see all the challenges. In fact, nobody sees it more than me. Because if you look at my life,
see it every day.
Every day. So I see resilient people. I see people who, against all odds, choose to do things honestly. I see those who cannot leave this country. I live with some people who will be like, Mamala Olu will say, you know, those kind of people, if we talk about the Jackpot mentality, they don't know what it means. Maybe for their kids, but for them, this is where they are from. And I always say, when my parents would, say, my dad would say to me, God makes no mistakes. This geographical region, this land, it's not a curse, like some people like to make it.
Yeah.
And so when you're frustrated, what you should do is have blessing in your tongue. You should bless your circumstances, your situation, your place at the time, and whatever hardship you want, that you have, that you want to change, you will that change. But Nigerians, when they're frustrated, they cause the land, they cause the government, they cause themselves. You know, we go on and on and on, talking about ourselves, causing our place, joining others. And then when we go, we hear the people who bless their nation. God bless America. God bless. We wish that, that our country is like theirs. But, we don't do what they do. We don't bless our land. Everybody gives up at the slightest opportunity. This country, it will be the same as as China was in the days and things changed. It is one flip that will change this thing. One flip will change the hardship that we claim is the narrative here. Yeah. It is not that narrative. If it was that narrative, why do we wish to go back to the good old days? In those good old days, some people had some difficulties they wanted to change. So if we continue to curse, the curses continue to be our narrative, and it must change. I love this place. I am birthed here. My ancestry, several generations ago, were birthed here. They were disturbed, they relocated, they resettled, and they continue to thrive here. So I will thrive here.
Yeah. Talk about your thought. What was your mindset in this year's Independence Day, and what came to mind as people were celebrating and talking about Nigeria?
I love Nigeria. I love Nigeria. I'm proud of Nigeria. I noticed, I was telling my staff something as we did a video to celebrate Nigeria, and I said, the video is about I am Nigeria, and say things positive about Nigeria. And they were like, there's so many negative things. I said, if you calculate the population, we are 200 million people and above. If you calculate the number of people that are doing bad, it is less than 10%. It's less than 5%. It's less than 1%. Why are we allowing the little bad color our sight to all the good happening around us? Why are we focusing on what is not working? For me, Nigeria works for me. If there's only one person that Nigeria will work for, I am that person. And I say, just say it for yourself. Don't beef my affirmation. Say your own. Nigeria entertainment industry has resiliently fought against whatever is happening here and put themselves on the map of the world. Anywhere you are in the world, like you are in a mall and you just listen to, people are vibing to Nigerian music like it is everybody's song in the world. You watched Brotherhood. I watched Anikulapo.
Yes, I also watched that too.
I'm like, these are people that are in Nigeria doing things anybody watching that movie would watch with. I've watched King Woman, I've watched Anikulapo. There's no difference, Murayo. What is the difference? His story is ethnic. We are doing things. And I want to tell Nigerians that be part of the solution, not the problem. Largely, it is the middle class and the elites that are checking out.
Hallelujah.
The majority are not leaving because the majority don't have option. The middle class has tasted what they think is foreign, and so they feel like that place is better. But you can make this place your Goshen. You can make this place, you can make this Nigeria the solution that other people will come to. And yes, somebody will say, you cannot do anything without the government. Yes, you can. I've met successful businesses thanks to LBS that they've never done any transaction with Nigerian government. And one of them is marking 30 years next year. And they are doing well.
Yeah, Meg, you're going too far. We had a guest just from First Consultant.
Yes, cardiologist.
The guy said, listen, we don't even do anything government. I just call my friends because he's been living in America for 30 years. He's a doctor. He's a cardiologist. He calls his friends from the US, Nigerians, and they come together. Happen. Those in Nigeria also, they come together. They found a foundation because what's it called now? First Consultant, I think, cardiology. Yes. They are unable to, it's a high-end hospital in Nigeria. Yes, we do that. But because they also wanted to ensure that they are able to treat heart disease across Nigeria. So they found a foundation where they've gotten their friends to put money together. And they're helping people. You don't have to have anything to go there. The point is, you can do good things without the government. You don't need the government. Yes, government is still taking their own steps, but you don't have to do that. Sometimes it might be difficult. But you know, let's come back to what is inspiring us as a nation. Because I mean, many people when they leave abroad. I mean, I knew there was somebody I know. She was expecting something from. She lives in the UK. She was expecting something from Nigeria. And I think the ports disappointed, and she was so angry. And she was just raining curses. Can you come? And she was going, and I was like, oh my goodness, please stop. And she was going on and on, cursing and cursing, you know, and it's so easy to curse Nigeria when you're outside Nigeria. But when you are now amongst other tribes, you want to say, I'm a Nigerian, I'm a proud Nigerian, when you're listening to our music. But when you're amongst your own Nigerians, you abuse Nigeria. Oh.
No.
But when you are amongst...
When they listen to Nigerian music, they quickly claim it.
So when you live with Oyimbos or different people, and there's something like you want to be, and you're listening to Nigerian music, or you want to, you now do a march, take a Nigerian flag, I'm Nigerian, you walk around New York City, I'm Nigerian. When you now come home, you're the first to tweet about how bad. So the point is that we should, if we're going to love Nigeria, love it, and and loving Nigeria doesn't mean you have to criticize. Yes,
it doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect either.
Hurricane, what is it happening
in
Florida? And Mama Garlic was speaking to on yesterday evening. She was saying, you go that there's no light.
Yeah.
You know, it knocked out power. If anything, you know, I was saying it when the floods happened around the states around Mississippi just this year. I saw the videos, the Pakistan flood, monsoon rains and all of that have affected the whole of Pakistan. In fact, went underwater. I saw those pictures. I was like, if it happens in Lagos, so I will lose.
Yes.
You know, that's what Nigerians will do. We don't accept when we live in a flood-prone area that we also contributed to what can happen to us. We are refusing to advance engineering-wise, you know, to create solutions ourselves and say government didn't help. Every time we have those ideas, we think, no, it's better I go and stay abroad so that I can flourish. You know, no Nigerian has decided to stick through and push through something and follow the books and say, okay, this is what they call it. They will say in science, have your records and all of that, testing and all of that. Do the entire thing they want to do and sell it from here. The way they do in China, I think China is overrated. Most of the things I have bought this year, everything, but the Chinese will never disown their own. I don't understand why we do this thing. I was on a live on Thursday, and I was looking at the bridge that is crossing to Festac, and I was like, if they finish this bridge, man, But I was in that traffic, and I was forced to say it's just traffic management, because I cannot say they should stop work.
Yeah.
I'm saying the work.
Yeah.
This morning I drove under that bridge into Surulere and came out at Ikorodu Road instead of coming on Osho because there was traffic.
And when that bridge is cracked, that bridge was completed.
The ease that it will bring, and we must admit it. I was arguing with somebody in charge of works over that same Thursday, and I drove all the way almost to Lasso just to get home, to turn back to bypass traffic, and I was saying to her, this road, but I saw the work. Right. You would never, if you lived in Ojo, I lived in Ojo, I schooled in Lasso, I lived on, the Alimosho end, and I had to pass Badagry Expressway every day to see that there's a flyover bridge now that takes me out of the market and the traffic that I used to suffer in the past, and that takes me into Alimosho. It's somebody's work, and it's happening here. People are saying, despite all the costs, we will make it work here.
Yeah.
And so those people cursing, take back your courses to your personal places, because this land is blessed.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think so. Let's go on a quick break. I'd like to open our phone lines to call, and hopefully we can get good messages for Nigeria today. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to be taking the conversation a bit deeper, and I'll be referencing an article by Ms. Adefeko, and he was asking some pertinent questions, saying that, is Nigeria a state or a nation? After 62 years, can we categorically say that we're a state or a nation? And it's important for us to let me give some definitions so you understand what I'm trying to say here. According to the article, a nation is defined by, is a group of people with a common language, common religion, history, culture, and geographic territory. While a state, on the other hand, must have 4 basic elements: population, territory, government, and sovereignty. And for a state to be called a state, all 4 elements must cooperate together, exist together, or must do so concurrently. Now, the point is that many experts have said that we're a state of nations. And if we're a state of nations, of many nations, that means there's the Edo nation, there's the Fulani nation, there's the Yoruba nation. If indeed our constitution recognizes us as a state of many nations, therefore, do we think that would make us a more united, united state? Because the problem we've found is the diversity. We've not been able to bring strength out of our diversity. There's been a lot of division amongst us, either politically or otherwise. But the point is, one of the issues we're still facing as a Nigerian is 62 years later, can we boast that we are one state? Or can we boast that we're a nation? Or we're both? That's the confusion. Because that's the problem we have with the difference and the culture. Not accepting that you're different from me and using that, our difference, to get back to become a stronger nation. What are your thoughts on this? On this?
So I feel that that's what this show is about. The idea of this show is, I don't need to agree with you. You are different, but I celebrate you and I appreciate your contribution to this conversation. Nigerians, we are different people. We don't need to. If we are all the same, then there's no advantage you're bringing to me as a Yoruba person. There's no advantage my Edo husband is bringing to me if we are exactly thinking the same way, from the same mindset. Our beauty comes from when we appreciate the differences that we have. We're not trying to convince this person to begin to think like me, but we celebrate and hear that person and let that person's ideas cross-fertilize with mine. And then we come out beautiful, we come out stronger, we come out better. One of our challenges we've had in this country is that some people are profiting from our division. And as long as they continue to profit from our division, they will continue to spread hate and they will continue to polarize us along ethnic lines. It doesn't work for us. The Nigerian people should realize something, that we are stronger together. We are one. You might say that, you might listen to some people that are making you feel like this person is at an advantage, but really when you look at it, there is no advantage in being from any part of this country. The only advantage is being from in the political positions. That's the truth. Currently, your ethnicity brings you no advantage. It is being in the political position brings an advantage. So let all of us listen to each other really and leave aside our ethnicity and come together to talk to those in power that you will no longer deceive us. We are together and we are going to build a nation out of ourselves.
Let me take this call from Jeffrey that comes to you, Nima. Good morning, Jeffrey. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Happy Independence Day.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I just want Nigerians to know that amidst all the challenges we are having, Nigeria is blessed. We've been watching international news and we've seen how natural disasters are costing lives. But for Nigeria, we are blessed. In every ramification, we are blessed. So just a word for Nigerians. We need to pray for this country. We need to do it ourselves. Let's unite ourselves. If the woman in the market can be sincere to herself, to her customers, the change begins with her.
Fantastic. Nima, your thoughts on this diversity that we have?
Okay. 200 million plus people, 371 plus tribes and ethnicities, and over 500 languages. It's not going to be moi that, you know, that will just at once never disagree. But what we must highlight is our unique differences. In some areas, they are so industrious. In some areas, they are so intellectual. In some areas, they are so people, social skills and all of that. And each of those unique differences is what we must highlight and appreciate instead of the negatives. When you see some tribes talk about other tribes, they talk about it with all sense, all pain and past histories. We share histories. We know that in those days, tribes had to fight wars, villages were taken over, kings, you know, expanded their kingdoms and all of that. But if you look at it positively, you will see a shared history instead of holding on to grudges. So, for instance, in Edo, you'll find the Benin kingdom expand all the way to Onisha. So they have Obide, they also pray and say, Ise. It means that, you know, some king continue to expand. And if you look at it with a shared history mentality, you will not see it as something that, no, they came to conquer my people. And that negativity that we'll talk about some tribes and say, no, this tribe can never be president, all that kind of mentality has to be put aside and focus on our unique strength, our unique differences and our strength. And that way we can, and if you give, see, let's not deceive ourselves. The England and the Americas that we are shouting about, they had time to evolve. Let's give ourselves some time to become that one united nation. It cannot happen by magic. It will happen over time.
Okay, let me take Emmanuel. Good morning, Emmanuel. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
You're live.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I'm so happy to get to you today.
Thank you.
I'm very happy about the topic you are discussing. I'm just 20 years old, and I'm very passionate about Nigeria. And I believe, can you hear me?
Yes. Very clearly.
Okay, I believe in Nigeria changed a lot. And for example, in my state, Cross River State, over the past few years, I've seen from the government of Donald Duke how it has gone down to becoming something else. And I'm like, this is something that somebody has been there before and he has done a lot of work and we can see. So it's all about passion. It's not even up to the leaders alone. I have lots of ideas that are loaded about tourism, and I'm not the only one. We are like a group. There are other people that have the same ideas. And recently, one of them traveled out, and we are like, we don't even need to run away. If we give ourselves 5 years, in 5 years' time, we will change Nigeria. Even Cross River State alone will be the reason why people will come to Nigeria, just Cross River State alone. We need more people like this to have the same vision. Be passionate about your own community, that because of my community alone, people are going to come to Nigeria. People are going to know my country because of my community. That way you bring innovations, and before you know it, things are changed. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Let me take this statement from the article I was referencing, Ade Adefeko. He was saying that in a situation where clannishness and ethnic chauvinism are demonstrated within the leadership space, it becomes pretty difficult for discerning citizens to have confidence in the nationhood of the country. And it goes back to the role of leadership. Because, as you said earlier, they use ethnicity and religions to divide us. Because when you speak to regular Nigerians, many of them do have relationships across all ethnic tribes and religions. But our leaders have failed to adhere to justice, equity, and fairness. Because there was a time where, oh, there's a minority, but there's no more minority. Everybody now is exposed. There's no more minority within our country. Yes, maybe numerically, yes. But as regards enlightenment, every tribe, in every nook, every corner, nook and cranny of this country, they have enough exposure to say, I need a chance in leadership. I want a chance in this Nigerian nation. I want to be a part of it. And therefore, our constitution, our leaders must recognize the strength in the tiniest tiniest ethnic group, and say, let us harness that strength to become a better, because I keep saying it. Nigeria is the most powerful black nation in the world. And until Nigeria wakes up, all the other black nations are waiting for us. And as we are, I know as well, as the entertainment industry is leading. I mean, everybody is, they look at our movie industry and our music industry, they look at it with admiration. So I think that in itself should inspire young people who are watching us. Say there's something good about this land.
There is a lot good.
Let me go on a break. Let me come back. I'll come to you. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to be taking a few phone calls and reading a few tweets on this. Do you have any tweets ready for us, Nima?
Yeah, we had a lot of tweets. We have Ayo Temitope said, okay, she's replying to someone on the he attacks me. He says, Nima translates anything she says in Esako to English, but not what she says in Yoruba. Why? I'll put effort into it now. Andrew says, Nigeria for life. My own be say, no old mindset ruling Nigeria. We want a new mindset that will catapult our creativity into the 2050s, not going back to 1962. I love Nigeria. I love the nation. I love the landscape. Oluwada Milare says that the entertainment industry is what inspires her the most and excites her the most.
Let me take this call from Kolawole. Good morning, Kolawole. Are you there?
Good morning. Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
All right. So I would just like to quickly, I just have two things I'd like to say quickly. So the first thing is to, like, my fellow youth who are very passionate about the nation, I just feel like from this month, they should just try to always come from a positive angle when speaking on the nation. Because I feel like a lot of times,
I'm having trouble hearing you, Kolawole. I do apologize. Do we have any more comments?
Yes, I wanted to talk about, you mentioned division, and you mentioned the fact that we are not divided. The truth is, for a long time, a lot of people have reservations. When you see people's messages that they don't believe that what we're saying, that we're not divided. They believe strongly like we're divided. That some people they have suffered under the structure that we've had for 62 years. And I think it's important we acknowledge those, that that's a reality for some people. The reality for some people is that they've not been taken as a part of this nation. And until our leaders listen, truly listen, without prejudice, without the fear of being taken out of leadership, until our leaders understand that if you cannot unite a nation, you don't have a nation, you would soon not even have anybody that will follow you. They say you're not a leader if nobody is following you. If people following you are only those that you are feeding, then you're not a leader. And every one of us must understand that we're leaders. So we must be careful about what we're saying, because everything we say is impacting on our community. You also mentioned something earlier about people cursing Nigeria. You cannot be blessed from a nation you despise. You cannot be blessed from a nation you are consistently cursing. You must begin to change the way you see this country. Third point I want to make, there are a large group of Nigerians in diaspora who have created a community of throwing stones into Nigeria. They are the ones sponsoring segregation. They are saying it, they are pushing it. You are not here. You are over there in wherever you find yourself, and you are funding crisis in your country. You should understand
Throwing
that
fire on your father's roof.
the lives we lose to those crises is on you. You are sending money to segregation groups. You are funding people that are posting hate messages online. Then it is on you. Because
you're benefiting from banditry up north.
Yes.
Because some people are making money. Yeah. Some people have become billionaires overnight. They become self-appointed negotiators. They become all sorts of things. Yeah. And if you are benefiting like that, you are adding to your cost. Till Trump happened to the U.S. before he's handing over, nobody thought that kind of
what happened in January 16th
madness could happen in the U.S. We used to make U.S. an example, a role model. And we saw how the government of the day prevented such from happening. They protected their... If such happened, they'll say, no, it's because it's government in power. They are gagging us. They are not allowing us. Nobody will allow fire on their roof. The right thing is to pour water on it.